Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the Fremantle Dockers AFL fantasy preview for the 2024 season, going through their team preview, which will be out on the 13th of January, and this one will be probably a little bit quicker because one, I don't have as much notes on them. It's more of what thought and stuff like that, and going through the stats as I see them. And I guess there isn't too many guys here that I'm actually looking at now and thinking there's 1, 2, 3, 4, sort of 5 guys that we've got to mention and talk about. So outside of that, I don't really see there being much. But at least they're in good ranges. We've got 2 or 3 premiums to talk about, 1 mid-pricer and 1 rookie to talk about, as well as a potential rookie that I think I like the look of, that could play very, very early. So before we get into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, especially because it'll probably, after this video, go back to sort of irregular times, given that you've got the end of the BBL season and then you've got the probably more fantasy content just coming out at different times, and probably a return of the cricket videos, etc. But other than that, let's get into the video. So first off, you've got Brayshaw, Sarong, etc. and Hayden Young. They're sort of the main big guns that you got to talk about here. So Brayshaw, 110 last year, and it didn't really look like he was trying that hard for a 110, which really sort of shows that he probably has another level he can go to. A 110 from him, and he had a 90, a 72 as his low, and then a 90, 91, 97, and a 99, which really just shows he has a low, he has a really high floor, and he also has a really high ceiling at a 157, a 134, a 135, a 129, 122, and then a 120 as well. So he's got, like, what's that, 7 120 plus scores, and only 1, 2, 3, 5 sub 100 scores, including 4 90s and 170. If that 70 becomes like a 90, that is just a crazy average, and it just shows that he could easily be I reckon a 120 if he does push on. The only problem is he's got another ball hog with him in the fact of Caleb Sarong. And you're looking at these numbers here, and you're looking at Brayshaw, and he has that natural progression, has that big uptake in 2020. If you look at those numbers there, 76.4 times by the 1.25 is 95.5. So he went from 69.5 to a 95.5, and then to the 104, then to the 112, and then back down to a 110. But I think he's going to stabilize around that 113, 114, as you see here. And the CBAs, I'm pretty sure they pretty much tell the story here. If you look at Fremantle, 2023, Sarong and Brayshaw, but Brayshaw 79%, 2022, Brayshaw 76%, 2021, Brayshaw was at only 61%, which was a little bit low actually thinking about it. And then 2020, Brayshaw was at, where was he at here? Brayshaw was only at 40%, so 2020 he was only at 40%. So he's shown that he can score without getting the sort of midfield role. But it's interesting to see how him and Sarong have sort of taken different paths to the same sort of area or points. But anyway, yeah, I really think Brayshaw is one that you can target some very, very early. He's not someone that I think can necessarily go bigger in his returns, but I think he's someone that could stabilize around that 110, 112, which will be interesting to see. Just want to quickly go through Sarong as well. 108, L3 of 97, L5 of 103, and yeah, I really like the look of Sarong this year as well. Where's Caleb? There we go. And then grab his profile up as well, and you see he really did finish the year. Well, he started the year pretty much all round pretty good. 286s, 5 sub 100 scores as well compared to Brayshaw, which is very, very similar. Doesn't have the highest high that Brayshaw does have. He is, I believe, a year younger than Brayshaw, at turning 23 early on in the year, before the season starts. And he did have that massive uptake in the from 87 to a 108 last year. But he was sort of holding around that 85 range. He went 83.2 in his first season, 82.4 in his second, then 87 in his third, and then went up to a 108. And I reckon I like the look of him in this season coming up here. As we look at his fixtures, does have Brisbane to start, but then has the North Melbourne game, and we can loop him into that. We can loop the VC, hopefully, or the C on him there. Has Adelaide at Optus, annoying. Carlton at Adelaide. Then he has Port at Adelaide, Oval, and then has West Coast Eagles in one of the bye rounds as well, so we can loop him well strongly there. So we're attacking again another best 18 round with the game again with one of my strongest players against West Coast Eagles or in North Melbourne is what I'm really trying to look at there. So I like the look of that. Western Bulldogs, Richmond, Sydney. Sydney won't tag as well, so he'll rack it up there. St Kilda, Collingwood, and also Melbourne. And then out of the bye, he also has a really good schedule. And he's got that round 13 bye, which is absolutely crucial because round 13 it's basically going to be him, Hayden Young. Heath Chapman will be upgraded by then anyway, or probably upgraded during the bye itself in round 13 to a round 12 guy. You've also got Andy Brayshaw, that will be popular, so that's 4 or 5 guys. You'll also have Port Adelaide's Butters, Rosie, anyone else? I don't think so. So there's about 8 guys that will be on the whole bye for round 13 that are actually useful, which just shows how crucial that round 13 is going to be, that you can probably hold 3 or 4 of them because there's going to be so many other premiums outside of that. That you can basically take it down a lot of them in that week, as you'll have a lot of other premiums that can score and rookies and stuff like that can score, and then you can dominate in 14 and 15 without many on the bye rounds. And that's sort of what I did last year. I think it was something like 4 or 5. I held the extra premium in the 2-team bye round, and it really dominated really helped to dominate because it cost me like 50 or something points, but in that week, or 40 points in that week, it really didn't cost me that many, and it gained me back something like, I think in the end, around 100 points in the end across the 2 other bye weeks, which was really crucial. So I really like Sarong. I really like the way he's progressing, and I think he could be the Clayton Oliver, to be honest with you, this year, where he goes nuts. You've got other guys like Rory Laird, Touk Miller, we saw a similar path with, I think, from memory. Just going to go through Tom Green as well. I think had an similar sort of pathway as well in progression. So there's so many guys here that have the similar progression. I reckon he takes it up one further and goes sort of that 115 range, which will be huge. And that is a 115 is the equivalent of a guy currently priced at around 1.4, which is, I think, around the Bontempelli, in between Bontempelli and also the likes of Zach Merritt. I think it's around where Marshall is sitting at the moment, and he's currently 970 odd, so it's around 60k that he will go up by. So that's roughly where I sit with him, and I really like the look of Caleb Sarong. Then you got Hayden Young as well, 89 average, but the last 3 of 96 and the last 5 of 98, and he's getting that midfield role, which is really, really good. I like him in the midfield, and I think everyone else does, given that his ownership is 25%. I think that will rise to a 35 or 40%, to be honest, by the season starting. And you can just see Hayden Young had 52, 77, 81, 78, 81. And the thing I like about, if we bring up his stats here in 1 second, let me just find him, there we go. And then bring him up, his profile here, you will see what I really like about him is that his lowest I can see at the moment is obviously this 52, but then that is a freak performance. 73 is his lowest, or 61, sorry, then 73. So he does have those sort of lowish scores, but I reckon he can, in the midfield, up that by 15 or 20, as it is going to be those sort of low scores. So his lowest would be like a 75 or a 70. I think he could easily become a really, really influential guy just because of his tackling game is so strong compared to others. If we look at him through here, and it will be down the bottom, Hayden Young, last guy. You'll see his tackling in the last couple of weeks actually wasn't too, you can see it here, 5, 10, 8, 7, 7, so that's 14, 22, 32, 37 in the last 5 weeks, which is 7.4 a game. 7.4 tackles alongside what looks to be 3 and a bit marks per game. He was getting 10.6 tackles and marks combined per game, which is just huge, and hits that marker strong and goes beyond it, covering off a couple of disposals that he could easily pick up per game. And you see here, if he can be a 24 touch, sort of 4 mark, 6 tackle guy or something like that, he will clear, what's that? Going to be 36 non-disposal points, add a potential goal or so in that range as well. A goal or 2 as well on top of that, and then the 20 odd touches. He should be a huge fantasy scorer this year, and I really like the potential look of him, because he's just going to land tackle after tackle, and I like the run that they have to start in, if you look at it, Brisbane, then the North game, Adelaide, Carlton, Port, and then they have a really soft run as well, so I'm really liking the look of that as well. So there's that. And then the next guy, I'm skimming over Luke Jackson. I think his uptake this year was just from Sean Darcy. To be honest, I don't really see much natural progression anymore with him outside of him becoming a number 1 ruck. Then looking out here, no one else here really. Matt Johnson doesn't look that appealing, to be honest, at 512k. There's Sheldrick and guys like that who have shown much more potential. Then you have Heath Chapman, and everyone's like, 3 games, 60. Why are you so into him? And you look at the 494, divide that by the magic number, and you get him priced at around about 54.7, which is 54, not bad. If we look at his Heath Chapman, doesn't have anything there as well on that. And if we go to Heath Chapman here, there we go. And then go to his fantasy profile, you will see here that he's gone 55, 69, and then 60. And you actually look at this round 3 game here for Heath Chapman, and you look at that, and we'll actually do it through here. We'll go Heath Chapman, which should be up the top. Round 3, he had a 54% for a 24, which is well unders in an injury game. So his other games were 75 and an 85 and a 72. Divide that by 2, and he was getting a 78.5. And we said that he was priced at 54. So I think it was 54 times that by. That would be a 0.79. So 54.7 he's going to be priced at. So, and we said that was a 78. So he's already plus 24. And I reckon that role could even get better. So he's plus 24, plus 30 potentially on what he averaged, what he's priced at, which is just huge growth. And I really like how we've got that sort of marker set there, as well as the fact that he's discounted, and the fact he's getting a better role as well. So I really like the look of that for Heath Chapman, and that's why he's going to be in the side for me at that D4. And hopefully by the time the buy comes around, if he's going at sort of that 80 range, 80 times by the magic number at the moment, he'd be roughly, I reckon, around that 700 range. And that's almost where a rookie can come involved with the 3 trades or something like that, or you can have spare cash involved, and you can almost get him to another premium that's playing again after their bye in round 12. So there's something like that you can do, and just look at something like that. But he does have the favourable bye, so you could almost hold him as well if he does turn out to be almost a top 10 guy, and then trade him, upgrade him in post-bye, being like one of the last guys to upgrade, as some of these guys will, like the mid prices and stuff like that, will be upgraded beforehand. So just something to look at there. And I really like the look of Heath Chapman. And then the final guy, I think it is. So you got these 2 guys here in Jeremy Sharp and Cooper Simpson. Jeremy Sharp, if we look at his numbers here, they don't look too appealing, to be honest with you. Jeremy Sharp, where is he? He is not on here, I don't think, from what I see. But is he still on the? Is he still going to be on the Gold Coast list? Let's just see. Is he still here? No, he's not on there. So, if we look at Sharp and then we look at him fantasy wise, you'll see he didn't play in 2023. 2022, I don't know what his numbers were. 2021, 9 games, 71. Say he just returns to that 71, priced at 284k for Jeremy Sharp here, 284k. We take the multiplier, the magic number, that is priced at 31. Now, 31 for him, 74, that's plus 71, that's plus 40. Even if he goes to 60, that's still plus 29 as a rookie. That's huge. So for him just to be playing at that M8 role on the wing for Freo, where I expect him to get a lot of the ball as they are chipping it around quite a lot. So yeah, I expect him to go 65-ish. I reckon as 60, 65 should be sort of the conservative view, and sort of the positive view sort of returns to that 70 form and gets that huge cash gen out of him, because he's 71 would be, if he was priced at 71, that would be roughly him at 640k. So there's probably 300k or so of price of cash gen there, and he could be the prime target. Him and Jai Clark combine just before the buys, and they combine into a primo and a rookie in their second week, which is basically what you do for those guys. So yeah, just looking at that, and I really like the look of Jeremy Sharp if he does play, which he should, being a WA boy coming home. They purposely scouted him and did that to grab him over after Gold Coast. I think they delisted him, to be honest. And then I really like the look of Cooper Simpson, one of, I think, Pommy's mates or something like that, as well, 200k, and he just looks slick. That's the thing. He just looks really good, and someone that I really like the look of. I just want to bring up sort of what on the rookie me, and just sort of look at what his stats were. So I'm not going to probably show it, but I just want to look at it. So he averaged 86 points for Vic Country in the national under 18s, 0.9 goals, 21 touches, 3.9 marks, 3.4 tackles. His best things are his clean hands and speed. So he could be used as a winger or a half backer, or potentially as a small forward. And even at 200k, if we go back to the on-screen now, it should be able to show. There we go. Cooper Simpson, 200k, that's priced at, I think we said 22.14. But I'll just double check that. 22.14, he will outdo that. I reckon he can do a 50 or something like that. And as a utility or a mid or a forward on the bench, that's just good cash gen to potentially gain somewhere around 150k, 200k, get up to 400k, and then just trade him out, trade him down to another rookie and get the cash on field and upgrade a mid-pricer or a primo or a sort of rookie up to another primo. So that pretty much sums up the Fremantle video of the 2024 team previews. This will be out on the 13th. You'll have the Essendon one recorded on the 13th, probably coming out on the 14th, which should be good, or it might be recorded on the 14th, depending on when I get time to do that. But this will be the last probably video recorded, especially on the Tuesday today. But yeah, finally got through the marathon of all those pre-recording all those videos for you guys to come out on the sort of daily at 12 p.m. So we'll be back to hopefully more detailed team previews of Essendon, Collingwood, Carlton, Brisbane and Adelaide in the future when that when we get up to date, I guess, once the 13th rolls around, etc. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys for the next team previews. Bye guys.